Chapter 10. The Vault Breached. The cavern fire had burned low, little more than embers, when Stone rose without a word. Ace stirred from half-sleep, stiff from the rock beneath him. He knew before his eyes opened where Stone would be, standing before the door, hand on the shard, visor reflecting that faint, pulsing light. Mac had joked once about him looking like a man at church. Ace didn't laugh now. The door's veins beat steadily, endlessly, their rhythm deep enough to crawl into Ace's bones. The whispers hadn't let him rest. He had dreamt of corridors that bent like snakes, of voices speaking in chorus without sound. He woke with the taste of metal in his mouth. Stone's voice was quiet, but sharp enough to cut. "We can't stay here." The prisoners stirred at that, eyes hollow, faces pale in the guttering firelight. Mac groaned, rubbing his face. "And here I thought we'd finally found ourselves a holiday home." Stone ignored him. He lifted the shard. Its glow sharpened, a needle of light that pierced the dark. The veins across the door flared in answer, pulsing faster. The cavern air thickened, charged, as if before a storm. Ace's breath caught. The whispers surged. Now, now, now. The door moved, not with hinges, not with a grind of stone against stone, but with a motion that broke sense. Surfaces folded where there had been none, angles bent, lines slid in ways the eye couldn't follow. The center peeled apart without peeling, layers slipping like oil, and a seam widened into a passage. Light bled out, pale, sickly, not warm, the kind of light you'd find under the ocean, where no sun had ever touched. The prisoners cried out, some falling back. One shook his head furiously. "Not in there!" "I won't." Stone turned, visor gleaming. "Then stay. You'll be dead by morning." The man pressed himself against the cavern wall, trembling. Others shifted uncertainly, but when Stone strode into the breach, shard raised like a torch, most followed. Ace swallowed hard, tightened his grip on his rifle, and stepped after. Mac muttered, "We're all mad," and trudged behind them. The air inside was colder, heavier. It clung to the lungs like damp cloth. The walls were seamless metal, not flat, but shifting subtly, as if the alloy itself breathed. Veins of light ran in curling patterns, their pulse irregular now, almost eager. Machinery lined the corridor. Not consoles, not panels, at least not anything recognizable. Columns rose from floor to ceiling, studded with shapes that suggested function but defied it. Ridges too smooth to be buttons, recesses too shallow to be screens, coils that hummed faintly as if storing charge. Some of them moved, tiny oscillations that made the hair on Ace's arms rise. The prisoners recoiled from them, pressing close to the squad. One whispered, "It's alive." Mac forced a grin. "Nah, just bad interior decorating." His voice cracked at the end. Stone pressed on, shard glowing brighter with every step. Ace followed, trying to focus on his boots, on the rhythm of his breath. But the whispers pressed harder, filling the corridor, scraping against his skull. He couldn't tell if they were outside or inside him anymore. They weren't words. They were pressure, emotion, a weight of intent that was too vast to name. He stumbled. Mac caught his arm. "Easy, rookie." Ace nodded, though his throat was too tight for words. The corridor widened into a chamber. It was vast, domed, the ceiling vanishing into shadow. Machinery clustered at its edges, towers of alloy strung with cables that pulsed faintly like arteries. Some hung broken, spilling coils that twisted slowly in the stale air. Others hummed, alive but dormant, like beasts in uneasy sleep. In the center stood a structure like a dais, smooth and circular, ringed with symbols that shifted when Ace tried to look at them. The shard flared at its sight, flooding the chamber with its glow. Stone mounted the dais without hesitation. He raised the shard high, visor reflecting its light, and for a moment he looked less like a soldier and more like a man chosen. The veins across the chamber walls pulsed in answer. Ace's stomach knotted. Stone dash dash. Silence, Stone said softly. Mac muttered under his breath. Not ominous at all. The prisoners huddled near the walls, their fear palpable. Some wept. One turned his back to the chamber entirely, face buried in his arms. Ace couldn't take his eyes off the machinery. The coils shifted, the hum deepened, and beneath it all, faint but undeniable, he heard something else. Movement, not machinery, not shifting alloy, something heavier, ponderous, awake. He swung his rifle around, scanning the shadows. Did you hear that? Mac stiffened beside him. Yeah, and I'd really rather I hadn't. Stone didn't turn. He kept the shard raised, voice low. It's part of it. All of this. Keep your guard. The sound came again. A scrape against metal. Slow. Deliberate. The prisoners whimpered. Ace's pulse hammered. His lamp swept the walls. Only machinery, only shadows, only the pulse of alien veins. But something was there. Watching. Waiting. They lingered in the chamber far longer than Ace wanted. Stone studied the dais, the shard still bright in his hand. Mac circled uneasily, cracking jokes under his breath that even he didn't laugh at. The prisoners clung to the walls, trembling. Ace stood guard, rifle steady, but his eyes kept flicking to the shadows. The scrape came again, closer this time. Then silence. The whispers surged, nearly deafening now. Not alone. He squeezed the rifle tighter. His breath came ragged. He wanted to speak, to warn, but his voice felt locked inside him. And then the veins along the wall brightened in a sudden, synchronized pulse. For one heartbeat, the chamber glowed brighter than day. Shadows leapt, stretched, danced. In one of them, just for a moment, something moved, something vast. And then the light faded, and the chamber returned to its steady pulse. Ace stood frozen, sweat slicking his palms. The image burned into his mind. Not detail, not form, just the certainty of mass, of presence. He whispered hoarsely, Stone. Stone lowered the shard at last. His visor turned toward Ace, unreadable. I know. The chamber hummed. The machinery shifted. The shadows stretched long, and somewhere deep in the vault, something stirred.
That is the end for this one. Make sure you come back for more, and like and subscribe. See you soon.